In a world overflowing with distractions, we seek meaning. How do we transform ambition into something deeper, into true fulfillment? I'm Sam Pepin, CEO of Course Educa, and I've spent years helping businesses succeed by connecting their goals to something bigger. On the Meaningful podcast, we explore not just how to win in business, but how to grow as individuals. Through conversation with thought leaders, innovators, and everyday heroes, we uncover the stories that drive us towards something greater. Whether you're striving for success, seeking purpose, or just looking for the next steps in your journey, this podcast is your guide to navigating the intersection of ambition, growth, and meaning. So please join me and our incredible guests as we redefine what's possible in both business and life. Enjoy. Resilience is not about never failing. It's about always rising stronger. Welcome to the Meaningful Podcast. I'm your host, Sam Pepin. Today we're diving into the psychology of entrepreneurships, building resilience under pressure, and leading organization through growth and uncertainty. Our guest today is Marina Morgan, an organizational psychologist, entrepreneur, and the founder of the Morgan Impact. With over 15 years of experience spanning startups to global enterprise, Marina has guided leaders through scaling challenges, founders burnout, and high-stakes decision-making. Now based in San Francisco, she blends neuroscience, psychology, and business strategy to help entrepreneurs not only build successful companies, but also live sustainable, balanced life. If you enjoyed this discussion, please let the world know with a like, a small review, or even a quick share. Your support helps more people find meaningful content just like this. Miss Marina Morgan, welcome on the Meaningful Podcast. How are you doing?
Hi, Sam. I'm so happy to be here. And so thank you for having me. Today is an amazing sunny spring day in California that I am able to enjoy. And I really enjoy our conversation, that I hope to be very useful and interesting for people who are listening us right now.
Well, I'm sure you will. We were talking offline. You seem quite lovely. So not quite as sunny in beautiful Montreal, but it's still not bad. We're transitioning into spring. But anyhow, please kick us off with tell us more about the Morgan Impact.
Okay, thank you. So the Morgan Impact is an agency that is based in Silicon Valley, but we're working all over the world, and we have clients in Europe, in Asian part of our planet, in Eastern Europe, even in New Zealand. This is an executive coaching agency for leaders and teams that build in the future. This is the main thing that we explain ourselves in our mission. My core value, I don't like to speak in a language that I help somebody to do something, I help the teams, I help the leaders. No, we are empowering powerful people, and I strongly believe that all the people have their own power, and my responsibility is to bring my expertise in our partnership, and together we'll achieve the result that's really meaningful right now for my clients. Speaking about the services, we are providing some personal consultations and coaching for the founders, leaders, and managers, because this is a very important part of this job. Leader is the source of everything that's going on in the team and in the company, like organizational culture, motivation, energy, whatever it is. And latest research in neuroscience of the leadership emphasizes it, and we right now can measure it, how strongly leaders are influenced for the team. The another part of it is facilitation of the board members' meetings, and we work with the board members' teams if, for example, you need to develop the strategy, or you need to pivot your organization, or you need to recreate some business processes. And also we are able to create some development program for the employees, for the employers. If, for example, you need to change something, or you want to develop some skills, or you want to recreate some leadership values, whatever it is. So everything that about the people is in your organization. You can find the answer in our agency, and this is my priority. And also right now, I'm opening new direction that I'm really passionate about. We are developing AIQ. This is the framework that measuring the readiness of the people in the organization for the AI integration. And right now, we are the first who are focusing specifically on the psychological and human aspect of this, because you will easily find some platforms in McKinsey, in Google, in Amazon, and some venture startups that measuring readiness for AI integration of the business. I mean, infrastructure, processes, some kind of expertise, budget, resources, everything you need, but not the people. And we want to focus on the people because my experience and experience of my agency focused on the organizational behavior, neuro leadership, everything that about the people. And we did a great job. We find a lot of different information about some prognosis, what will influence for the successfulness of AI integration, not only in some specific organization, but in all our society. And the psychological aspect is the main barrier what we are facing with. If you will be interested, we can speak a little bit more about it later, but that's what I'm really passionate about right now. And this is my main activity in the Morgan Impact. I also have several interesting side projects. If you want, we can speak about them as well. I shared with you when we spoke before.
Right. No, absolutely. Thank you. The one thing that was very interesting to me when I was reading your story is obviously you came from corporates, right? You came from the HR world. Tell me more about. I suppose I heard this. I saw this great quote of yours, which is, "I work with a team of thousands. Today, I help founders build sustainable life, not just sustainable companies." Now, that's a very interesting concept. And I think it's becoming more and more popular of a concept. But for you, tell me more about, I suppose, your experience in HR, and I suppose what was the moment or I suppose realizations that pushed you to leave basically the corporate HR and start your own consultancy?
Absolutely. So, right now I definitely understood that I'm an entrepreneur by my core values, by my mindset, and my neurophysiology. And my first work experience was the entrepreneurship when I was 19 years old. With my boyfriend together, we opened the business of washing the windows in our city, and it was really easy money. And I really know. In every city where I can come, I really know how to earn money through this service because it's really easy. People need it. It's very easy to organize. And this was my first business, first experience. And, in Russia, where I was graduated, you as a student can earn some money. This is some payment from the university if you have some budget education. And it was something like $10 per month when I was a student. And if, for example, you are a perfect student, you have only A marks, you will earn some $12 or something like this. But my washing windows washing business bring us probably 100 bucks per week or something like that, and it was really amazing. So, and then it was maybe second year of my university education, and I just started. I'm master of psychology science, and my focus is organizational psychology, and we just started to discover the labor motivation and speaking about the organizational behavior. I didn't know anything about it at that moment, but we decided that we will provide the service, the secret customer, when you visited different groceries or shops and you're recording it and you fulfill some kind of survey, and that's how management can understood what their salespeople do with the clients. And we created the service and we sell it, and we really earn some good contracts, and that was where I started my career. But when I was graduated, I really understood that it will be great and interesting to have some corporative experience where you can make some project with a huge scale, with great resources. And I was lucky to start my corporative career in a very interesting business in the cinema chain. It was the biggest cinema chain in the country. And I was the head of training and development department there. So my responsibility was to develop the skills of our people, of our employees, that will influence for the income of our company. And I was responsible for all levels of the employees in our organization. I mean, C-level managers, that was the head of the chain, and also those amazing people who sell the popcorn and tickets, and we created different scenarios, different scripts. We are working with the leadership skills of our core team of managers. And with that, my career was started. And it was really interesting business because we not only had the cinema theaters in our chain, we also have the contracts with the production companies. I knew a lot at the period about how to produce the movie and how to create the movie. And since then, I had a period then I left organizations because I wanted to create something on and try it. I worked on the radio. I created amazing school of the communication skills in the country. And year by year, I developed my career. And before I left my native country, Russia, where I was born, I worked as a head of training and development department, direction of the commercial departments. I mean, I was responsible for those teams that sell in the products, that created products, and I worked in the biggest technological company in the country, and it was 300,000 of the employees in our company. And I again was responsible for development, hard skills and soft skills of our people. And I should to prove that everything that we are doing with them help our company to earn more money. And I think that shaped my focus and my professional approach, that you should be very clear about the thing that you're doing with your partners, with your clients, really influence for their goals, and you can measure it and you can prove it, because that's the reality and that I grow up. So honestly speaking, to be a business psychologist is not the same thing like to be a psychologist, because when you're a business psychologist, your client is the business, your client is the organization, and your main purpose is to take care about stability of this organization, of resilience of this organization. And if, for example, for some reason you need to cut the half of your staff, you will do it, because as I told you, your client is the organization. And this is really complicated. If you're a psychologist, you have this very human-oriented values in your heart from the one side, and on another side you have your responsibility, and you have some business interest in understanding how it works. And I think that's what I've tried to balance in during all my corporative career, and still I'm working in this direction. One day I just found that I don't have new goal that will inspire me in my country, because I've already was on the top. And I just visited Silicon Valley because I have some business trip here. I created some collaboration project here with huge fun companies. I mean, Google, Netflix, and all of them. We had a plan to create something together. If you will be interested, I can speak about it later. But it's not actual right now. And when I just come here, I felt that I belong to this place and I need to do something here in this area. And I was 35 years old at that moment. And on my flight back, I had a flight from San Francisco to New York, and then from New York to Moscow. I've decided that I will leave the relationship in that I was at that moment, and I will buy a one-way ticket and will solve it somehow. And that's what I did. And honestly, my colleagues, I mean, psychologists, they not recommend to do something like that on the top of your career, because it's very difficult, because you already have the social role when you are,
Yes.
you have your social network, you have your identity, like successful woman or some powerful person or something like that. And it's very difficult from this stage to start over with the zero. In the new circumstances, there you're absolutely nobody. Nobody know you, your experience is irrelevant, your social network was the main thing in any business. Of course, your talent, your professionalism, but also your network. Some people who can personally recommend you and say, it will be great to work with Girl, or it will be great to work with agency. And it just, it turns to the pumpkin at one moment. But I decided that I should do it. And I moved to United States in October 2021. And probably you hear that at February 2022, the war between Russia and Ukraine started, and the political landscape changed dramatically. And I think that I will not be able to do it later because of all these political circumstances. And some of my some of my clients and my friends from Russia texted me, "Did you know something? Why you decided to do it like this?" Because everyone wants surprise. Just imagine, for example, your employer who really made a great job, earning great salary, doing amazing, huge project. I have a lot of awards for the project that we did, some publication articles, and really, I already was in the position where I can just come to any organization and say, I like what you are doing, and I know how to bring some value to your company, and this is my proposal. What do you think about hire me? And I had experience like this. I mean, some organization created the role specifically for my competence, and it was interesting. It was great, and it was my result. But when I came and say, I decided to fire and I moved to United States, do you have some offer there probably, or is the Netflix hire you? I told no, I just want to try to do something else. So that's how I
Right.
moved here. And when I moved to United States, I came here with the idea to create something by my own, to understand what is my real scale, what I'm able to do without the support of the big brands in my back. And that's what I'm doing right now. That's what I'm trying to do, and that's what I'm developing for the last 3 years.
Right. Tell me more about the difference in dynamics of, obviously you're born raised and spent a great deal of time in Russia. Then basically came to US. Tell me more about. To be honest, I think I had only one Russian clients in my life this far. Tell me more about what's different, or perhaps how different the dynamic is in the US compared to perhaps what we think of a more authoritarian, basically, um, lifestyle and environments in Russia.
Uh, I can send you. I can say you the most complicated thing for the people with their. I can say post-Soviet countries. It's not only about the Russia. It's the countries that was involved. It was the part of the Soviet
Sure.
Union. The most difficult thing for all of us here in the United States is the communication, and I will explain you why. Um, there is an amazing research by Erin Mayers about the cultural differences, and she created this research specifically for the people who are managing international businesses or managing international teams. And I really highly recommend this book for all the people who are doing it. I mean, working in the international business space or managing international teams. And when I
What's the
read
name
it,
of the book?
Erin Mayers' cultural difference map,
Okay.
something like that. And when I read it, I understood what's the thing, because in Russia culture, the only way how you get your positive feedback is when you don't have a negative feedback. Just try to imagine it.
Yeah.
And here in the United States, I think that the Canada is in the same part of it. You're providing the positive feedback at all, and this is the first step with it. You're starting your conversation. You are thankful. You say you did a great job. I really love your idea. This is amazing. Keep, go ahead, develop it. But probably you will be able to look from a little bit another side on this solution, something like that. For example, if you will be my partner or my employee or my deputy in Russia, and you will bring me some project that I don't really agree with, that I will say, what is this? Go and make it in a normal way, and that's it. And no explanation, no support words, and everyone live in this reality. I mean, this is
Right.
normal part of it. The
Way
first
colder.
Absolutely. The first thing is you shouldn't expect that somebody will say you thank you, or will say, oh, what's a great job. This is amazing, cool, great. And another thing is that you shouldn't wait some detailed explanation of what's wrong. You should guess it by your own. And this is some, positive and negative aspects of that. And I know it about myself, and I know it about people around me. And when I communicate with the American people, I also, in my team, I have some United States citizen. I mean, people who grown up in this culture. And I'm do my best. I swear you. I understood that probably in their perspective, I can be cold, so I can be a little bit tough. And I'm really trying to say, you did a great job, everything fine, I really love it, but probably you will. But honestly, I want to say, can you just do it in a normal way, as I as I learned in my native country? So this is the main thing about the communications. And
Okay.
And it's really often then people from the United States, they're saying about people from Russia, why are you not smiling? You're too gloomy. Why are you with this poker face every time? Because it's very difficult to read what you're feeling right now. Yeah, this is one thing. And another thing that the feedback is really very, very tough from your side. And people really hurts their feeling if they're resilient enough. This is one thing. And speaking about the dynamic, right now, the main strategic focus in Russia is to develop the business with the government. And any huge company in Russia have some, maybe the government can be the main shareholder, or it can be 100% government organization. And you have only one way to develop and to create something really scalable, great and big, is to have relationship with the government. I mean, official relationship or unofficial relationship. And it influence for the mindset of the top managers, of the people, of the leaders. It's very difficult to create some innovations in these circumstances. And honestly speaking, Russia is really good in the bench of different technologies. And before all this conflict and before redirection of the country out of the innovations, the services that was developed, they're really great because we have a really strong mathematician school and programming and all the bench of the science. But if you really want to be a leader in some innovation and technologies, you need some kind of the free mindset. You need to think differently. You shouldn't afraid of something. You shouldn't afraid to provide your ideas. And at one moment, I really started to feel that it's difficult for me to find as much people as I want that could be in the same page with me, that can really be leaders of their life, who really can think differently, create something interesting, and I can't say even brave enough, I can say free enough in their mind to create something like this. And that's why, it was my first visit in Stanford, and we here met with different heads of the different founders of the different startups. When we spoke about different things, I was really impressed, the amount of the air. I mean, this feeling when you have a lot of air in your conversation, because all of you
Sure.
free enough to share even some crazy ideas without this fear to be judged or to do something wrong and to say something wrong. And it was really amazing. And that's what attracted me here.
Right.
I really understood that this is a time in my life when I will never more be the cleverest person in the room. This phrase, if you are the
Yes.
cleverest person, if you're the most clever person in the room, that means that you are in the wrong room. Right now, I
Correct.
definitely understood that I will never anymore will be the clever person in the room. But that's what I really love here. And
I love that.
this is specifically about the Silicon Valley. And speaking about generally the United States, I think the main thing that I like here is that people here believe in their civil rights, and that's make them more free in their choices, in their identity. They really feel more responsible about what's going on in their life, what's going on around. And
Okay.
I see your face, and I can say that when you're comparing your experience in the country where you really have some kind of how can I say it correctly? When you have the government that really keep you in this, iron hand. When you're
Authoritarian, yeah.
authoritarian, absolutely. When you're comparing it with the United States experience, you really see the difference, and you really see how free people is here.
For sure.
Probably they don't really understand it because they didn't have other experience. When you're definitely under control, you're unable to say what you're thinking. It's impossible in Russia that in the federal channel somebody says something bad about the president. It's impossible to imagine it. And if you will just open your mouth, you will be in the prison at those moments, and probably it will be the last line of your life, and everyone know it. And right now,
Right.
a lot of people in prisons just because they came to some squares in the cities and say we are against war. They didn't even say that we're against president or something like that. They just say that because this is just your position. You can be against war even if your country is not involved in any war. And when you live in this and you should to take under control what you're posting in your social media, what posts are you, push the button that you like it or write some comments. If you should to think, okay, I don't want that my little child sings some patriotic song in the school, and you really started to think that probably I can go in prison for this position. It's making impossible this freedom of mind, and that's what I like here in the United States as well. And this freedom is very important to entrepreneurship, to development, and to the innovative revolution that all of us right now in. So
Yeah, no, I love that. It's we definitely stand by the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and I think you're 100% correct. It's very hard to understand the value of something unless you lose it. Once you do though, then you remember how
yeah.
valuable it was. One thing you talk a lot about, Marina, which I want to pick your brain about, is the psychology of scaling. Right, you were talking about the fact that you went basically on the corporate side just to work with bigger projects, work with bigger brands, and obviously your personal endeavors also in businesses did so. You talk a lot about the fact that founders get a couple of things wrong when it comes down to growth and scaling. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember this quote by Lou Oates, which was, "It's not a load that breaks you down; it's how you carry it." Meaning that there's basically a way to do things in which will flourish a better life. I suppose, what psychological blind spot have you seen that most commonly basically aren't, as company begins to scale rapidly? What are some of the things that you always advise for people to keep in mind and be thoughtful about?
So we're speaking about the scaling right now, right? Specifically about
Yes.
this task. Okay. So the first thing, we have several ways to scale, right? We can, for example, scale our company further go into the new market, and this is one strategy. Or we can do it by opening some new direction, producing some new goods, opening new departments, or by integration new products. And during my corporative experience, I always came to organization at the period of some integration when the core business bought some another business, or we're changing the main strategy of the company, because I think that my personal energy and my personal mindset is about the change. I feel very comfortable in the change, but I can say it about the most people in the world. So if we are speaking through the founder perspective, the first thing, typically founders don't think about that they really have some kind of the narrow differences between themselves and their employers. What I'm speaking about here, we right now have a batch of very interesting research that was using some neurovisual tools, for example, MRI or some other tools that demonstrate us neurophysiological differences between managers and founders, between entrepreneurs and employers. And
Okay.
the first thing that all entrepreneurs should think about and should understand, that they have very specific organization of their brain and their nervous system. And from the one hand, that's what make them brave. That's what allow them to see much more option than the average people can see. That's what make them risky, creative, sometimes more, have some more emotional intelligence skills than average people. But the same thing make them feel sometimes very depressed or unmotivated. It's make them burn out faster than the average people, because this is just the flip side of the coin. This is I can say this is some kind of effect. This is the same thing, because one of the reasons why the entrepreneurs is such creative and why they're great achievers, because their dopamine system is much more sensitive than for the average people. And I will give here some comparison with the mental disorders, because it's really great metaphor to explain it. I can say that all the entrepreneurs have some kind of them. I just want to give you some numbers. For example,
Sure.
among the entrepreneurs, we can find bipolar disorder in 11% of the population and only 1% of the average people. If we're speaking about some kind of addictions, I mean, alcohol, drugs, whatever it is, entrepreneurs facing with that four times more than average people. If we're speaking about the anxiety, 2 times per more than average people. And that's because your nervous system and specifically your dopamine system is much more sensitive. So when entrepreneur achieve the goal, he or she feel much more pleasure than the average person who, for example, are able just to enjoy their regular lives, their small wins,
Right.
and the first thing that entrepreneurs should know about themselves, that if you are want to scale, you want to pivot, you want to open in new markets, you should prepare the main resource that you need for that is yourself, because you will be those driver for all of your team what will follow you in this change. Because interesting thing about entrepreneurs, what we have much more physical neurophysiological connection between nucleus accumbens and our prefrontal cortex, that practically means that we see much more way how to achieve the goal than the average people. And then, for example, you are like a founder coming to your team and say, guys, I understood, we will go there, this is amazing, we will go to the Latin America, after that we will go to Australia, but probably we need to start with the Saudi Arabia. It will be also great, they are amazing, I've already see it, so this is how we do this and this will be, and silence on another sign. It's not because they don't trust you, it's not because they are unable to see it, it's because they need more time to really, develop this neurophysiological paths between their reality and that they exist right now, and those
Yes. Yes.
reality that you want to provide. And you should understand that you need all your energy to bring your team for yourself for this direction. And if you are not see the inspiration, 100% support at that moment, that's not mean that your team are dumb or they are, not able to see these opportunities. This is mean that okay, let's be honest, some of us sometimes think about it in this way, that, oh my god, I'm so frustrated, why they don't hear me, I don't know, I should change this team, they don't understand, they are not thinking through the opportunities. um,
Mm-hmm.
uh, it's really, I can understand it, it's really, it's really strong frustration that you already see all of this, you're already there, you're already the king of the mountain, and you people say, what did you just look at our budget, just look at our numbers, we have clients here and we have still some problems here, let's solve these problems, and probably after that we will go to this new market, what do you think about it? So coming back to my point, you should really understand that you need this time. And if, for example, not all the entrepreneurs, they're really good in this communication with the team, and that's fine, all of us have our own talent. And I believe that the best way to win in life is to develop your talent, to develop the thing that you love, that you're enjoying. I can explain it through the neurophysiological aspect, why it's important to develop enjoyment in your life. And this is very important for all of us, includes entrepreneurs, specifically for entrepreneurs. But for example, if you don't very good at that, that's okay. You just have probably your co-founder or human resource manager. With that, you will develop the strategy. Or you, for example, can invite us and we will make our analysis and suggest you very resultative steps, how you can do it, based on those reality that you right now have with your employers. So I'm right now speaking from my perspective, for the human aspect. Of course, don't dive deeper right now into the business strategy, about the marketing analysis, market analysis. We understand it. We understand specifically right now, all of us have an access to this artificial intelligence tools. It's really easy. It's much more easier to make market analysis, competitive analysis in different market, understood these cultural differences, to create different, financial models, positive, negative, etc. But you asked me about the main mistakes, and to summarize it, the first thing, you should really understand that you are, as entrepreneur, as a founder of the business, the main resource of these changes, and you should take care about the main resource in the story, yourself. And you have some extra, on your personal account. I'm not speaking only about the money. You need it too as well, of course. But you need some positive balance in your energy account and in your physiological and neurophysiological account. And specifically, when I personally work with entrepreneur, we're starting with that. We're analyzing habits. We understand what's going on with your health. Do you have this resource? Because scaling the business, go into new markets, opening your new direction is the thing that need all resource that you need. And if you're already running your business, you really understand that everything, awful things that can happen, they will probably happen. I mean, black swans, political changes. Your client that's where you're already, ready to sign the contract will say, oh, I just changed my mind. Or, for example, I don't know, his house fired. I had this experience as well with my clients because they really invested half of the year in the negotiation with a big client, and the day before they should sign the contract, his house burned, and they just he wasn't able to do what they planned to do. So
Yeah, no recessions, all sorts of things.
absolutely, and we are not speaking about the global change because this is our reality. COVID, artificial intelligence, evolution, all of this. The only guarantee that we have is there is no any guarantee. Everything can change dramatically tomorrow. A
Yeah.
couple of days ago, I spoke with my clients and with my followers. I provided several YouTube channels, both in Russian and English language. And we spoke about future skills. And I read their interesting reports, the Future Skills Index that was created by United Kingdom. And they have their framework, how they measure in it. And I can say you that the main future skills that all of us need is the creative thinking and our adaptability skills. And the creative thinking, because the cost of the living is rising up dramatically, and that's why only creative people who are really able to find new ways how to survive and live in the high quality life, or maybe in the same level of the life, they will be in a good position, not only in their lives but also in their organization. Because right now companies really need people who are able to find some creative solution. And the main, as I told you, the main skills that demand from our reality and from our future is your cognitive skills, creativity, and adaptability.
Wow.
So, yeah.
No, it's interesting because you're talking about the fact that obviously, and you're totally right, even from our studies, entrepreneurs and obviously innovators, early adapters, as you might want to refer as the bell curve of innovations, are people in which have brain structure that are not only different, but the neural pathways are much easier basically to flourish, and basically they have this great skills of linking concept together and making new thoughts out of already existed basically ideas in a way that most simply don't. I'm really wondering though, as you were talking about this team aspect and the fact that the leader might have a fully clear picture, but then when they talk about it, there's sort of this, what the hell is he talking about sort of period.
Absolutely.
I think that obviously strategic clarity is so important, but it is also only achieved through psychological safety. If your team doesn't feel like they are empowered and taken care of, it will be much harder for them to actually buy into your plan. How do you cultivate psychological safety as sort of a catalyst for strategic clarity and perhaps for innovation in the plan you're trying to put in place?
Yeah, it's absolutely a great question. So, the first thing that I can say here is that we right now probably know near 50 different combinations of motivation in if we're speaking about the labor motivation, and some needness in stability and safety is only several of them. And there are a lot of different interesting tools that are able to measure what's the real motivation profile of your employee. And you can see there the differences between this motivator. I mean, for example, stability can be meaningful for the person with that you're working, but feeling that you belong for some big can mean more for this person. Or, for
Sure.
example, personal connection in this job can mean more than stability for this person. There are eventually people for that safety and stability is the main motivator, and this is important as well. And people like this, we need it in our organization because that's what that's its influence for our resilience, because they always oriented in it and they keep it in your mind. But why I started with that, it's much better to know what's going on in your organization and what's really important for your people. Because in the reality, specifically, if you are not a big company, if you are a small company, you're a startup or you're a medium-sized company, you are unable to provide the safety every time. Because as I told you, we are right now living in the very, very dramatic and dynamic reality that's dramatically change every day.
Yes.
So the first step, you should really understand what can be more meaningful for your people than this feeling of stability, and take care about it, that they have an access for that. And for example, you can say, guys, we right now go into the very tough period. I can promise you that everything will be fine as usual, but we will have this, this, and this. For example, we are together, they are a team. You can rely on me like on your leader, something like that. It depends on the organization. This is the first thing. The another thing that's really important, and I believe I believe that if any leaders will speak about it with their team, or invite some professional like me or my colleagues to explain it for them, it will be much more better. Because of course, our manager, our leader, our founder, and our company where we work is the important source of the stability and safety. But there is a part of our responsibility for that. What I'm talking here, the way how we are managing our stress is only our responsibility. Our manager or our business owner, he's responsible for providing very clear conditions of the work. I mean, some safety workspace, whatever it is. We have our responsibility. They're regulated by law. They're regulated by market, whatever it is. But your boss are unable to come to your house and say, please go to bed at 10 o'clock or at 12 o'clock because you need seven hours to sleep well, and don't increase the level of the cortisol in your body. He unable to come to you and say, don't think that I will, I don't know, kill you on tomorrow budget discussion, because I will not do it. And you have your parts of the responsibility for that. And the one understanding that I got just several years ago really changed my perspective for whole of the picture. Our neurophysiological condition is the first, and our interpretation of this is the second part of it. What's I mean here? For example, if you didn't sleep enough, you didn't care about your, I don't know, diet habits. You have not enough nutrition in your body. For example, you just don't have enough vitamin D or some ferritin or whatever it is. Your body started to think that you're in the bad spot, you're in the bad place. You need to turn on some kind of survival regime, some kind of survival.
Yes.
And when we are in this situation for a long time, our prefrontal cortex, this is our part of the brain that make us human, that help us to analyze the reality, to think in creative way, to think strategically, to think critically. Our body just switch it off. Because when you're in survival mode, you need to take care only about one thing: how to survive and how to escape from these awful circumstances when you're unable to sleep enough, to eat enough food, to have enough sun, to have enough air, and to have enough space to the movement. And this is not the fault of your manager. This is part of your responsibility. And when you're in this condition, when you have too much cortisol in your body, for example, your brain needs to explain for you what's going on with you, because this explanation makes us a little bit more comfortable and calm. And they just started to looking for what's going on in your reality, why you feel like this. In reality, you feel like this just because you don't sleep enough, you probably drink too much alcohol or too much sugar, or you don't have enough proteins in your diet, or you don't have, I don't know, you just need to drink some vitamin D, whatever it is. But the explanation that you started to looking for in your reality is that, for example, probably our boss planning to sell our company, and you don't have real information about that. It's just your ideas. Or you started to think, oh my God, my people around me, they think that I'm not doing my job well. Probably I'll be fired, and this is ruining your feeling of the stability. But you right now unable to understand what's going on to make some kind of the critical assessment of this reality, because the first thing that you need to take care about is how you are managing your stress. You are personally, how do you manage your stress? And I just in this year I participated in a very fantastic research that we made with the Icona and the US Berkeley, about the correlation between the mental health of the founder and the business successful. I'm unable to say you about the numbers because we are right now gave it to the official publishing, and we need to wait for this moment when it will be officially published. But
Sure.
I just make you some sign that
Teasing me.
I don't speak about anything, but probably I saw a dream where we find this correlation that
Oh, I'm not surprised at all. Not
that
surprised at all.
your condition influence for the successfulness of your business, and probably your business successful is influence in this back. So what I'm trying to say here, I think that it will be a really great job from the manager side to provide this information for their employees. You can invite some professional, you can listen together, I don't know, my podcast, Andrew Huberman podcast, whatever it is. It will be great, of course, to design it specifically for your people and to speak about it in their language, because, for example, it will be different conversation with the tech professional or with the people who are working in some kind of the factory. It will be very difficult, different level of conversation because
Yes.
uh, most of the people from the tech industry, they're first thing, they're critical thinkers, and it's their not their thing, all this human stuff typically, and you need to speak with them. Oh my god, the most difficult clients for me is for business psychologists is technical professionals and also people from the finance industry, specifically investors, because they have a habit
Oh
to say
yeah.
no. They have a habit to say no for everything. And honestly speaking, my husband is from the sector, and he say no for everything in our personal life as well. But this is, in our conversation. Because I every time feel like a founder that needs to, to prove his ideas for him. Even we just discussed what we will do on the weekends. So, do we want to go
Right,
to the
right.
movie? No. And okay, this is good. This is
No, but it's so interesting that you talk at length about mental resilience as a
absolutely.
business strategy, right? Like you said, there will be lows, there will be time where again you need to make a tough calls or you need to take a decision under pressure. But I'm really interested. Obviously, you deal with a lot of in the world of neuroscience, and I will sort of tie two questions at the same time here. But I'm really interested in from the study you obviously conducted, but also just your personal experience. What are some daily practices or perhaps daily sort of habits that you can cultivate to not only, I suppose, increase your resilience, but also make sure that you are a more stable person? Because, like you said very well, cortisol level basically would affect your IQ and would affect your decision making by a lot, up to 10 points from recent psychological studies. So, having you basically in a state of calm, grounded confidence as well to make a decisions is more important than ever. What's your best tips on how people and how founders can cultivate such resilience?
Absolutely, it's a really great question. So, here will be some specific for the founders. I will say I will start with that, if
Sure.
you will allow me. This is important for all the people, just to understand what's going on with your main resource, yourself. I have some. I can provide it for your listeners if you want. We have some guide for entrepreneurs. What medical tests you should pass every half of the year, and take care about this deficit, because if you have it, it influences for your mindset. Also to track your level of the sleep quality, and sometimes measuring your ketone level, and we have some devices that can monitor this 24/7, because
Okay.
the ketones is the fuel on that our brain work, not the sugar or something like that. And we have a lot of different interesting research about the mitochondrial energy changing in our brain. So we right now have a proof that when you're under the stress, our brain switch off those, high level um, cognitive parts of our brain. I will try and explain. And it's really, when you are starting to monitor in this, it's enough 2 weeks to understand what do you need to eat to have enough fuel for your brain to make it work in a good way. You need to have enough healthy fat in your diet. That's important for your nervous system. So you need to do everything that your nervous system will be resilient, because this is very important. Healthy brain make healthy decision. Unhealthy brain make unhealthy decision. And
Absolutely.
this is very simple. And honestly, guys, when you are healthy, you probably don't need a person like me or some professionals from my side, or maybe you need it, but maybe just to make some kind of the jewelry job to change your mindset in a very, very small direction. But in general, if you have healthy brain and healthy nervous system, you will probably provide the best decision that you are able to provide. So this is relevant for all the people. Another thing, you should make enjoyment the important part of your life. And this is absolutely not typical for entrepreneurs, for managers, and for all of us, because we have different cultural influence in this point that you should work harder, you should work more, you shouldn't take care about yourself, you should take care about your clients, about your marketing, about your employees, about whatever it is, but not about yourself. But the reality is that our endorphins that we are rising up through the enjoyment, they influence for our dopamine level, and that's how we are able to keep motivation for the long distance when we have enough dopamine in our system and endorphin influence for that. And that's why you need to make enjoyment your you need to prioritize the planning of the enjoyment in your life. And this has really worked great for entrepreneurs who are pretty busy, and our reality is that we are unable to keep this, hard work and rest balance. Because if the reality is that if you want to rise up your business, you need just to forget about yourself for a couple of years and for something around you. It's important to take care about that. It's important to take care about the relationship. We all understand it. But the reality is that if you want to stand your business on the ground, you should dedicate everything that you have for your business at the first steps of it. And and this is, if you will ask me what's the main request with that founders that are already successful coming to the psychologist or psychotherapist, the main request is, I've achieved everything. I have money that I dreamed about, and I have the company of this size of that I'm even unable to dream, and I'm not happy. And I feel that I was cheated. And I can say what's the reason for that, but let's say we'll answer for a question. So, and speaking about enjoyment, as I told you, you should have your list, what make you feel enjoyment, and it should be a very simple thing. I mean, I'm enjoying the feeling of the sun on my skin, or I love the moment when I step on the seaside and I feel the ocean, touching my feet. Or probably it will be some kind, I love the smell of the garden in my bird's house. And when I feel it, I really feel this. The neurophysiologist name is whole body yes. And then you even, feel attraction to this experience. And you should have this list. Of course, you should include there some great thing like, I don't know, traveling, visiting some concerts, organize some yacht tour for my friends. Of course, you should include it in this list as well. But the main thing that you should integrate in your daily routine is this moment of your personal enjoyment. Why we need it? First thing, as I told you, it's increased the level of endorphins and it influence for the level of the dopamine. And that's what keep our resilience in the long distance. That's what's motivated us. And I want to say for all the entrepreneurs, if you right now feel that you are motivated by the results much more than by the process, probably you are in the trap already, because you should teach your nervous system. You can do it, for example, in a partner with me. You should teach your nervous system to feel the same level of enjoyment through the process like through the result. And it will work better for the long distance, and it will help to keep resilience, and it will help you to keep you in a good enough mood and shape to provide your team for this successful change. And we right now have very interesting research that it was published in January 2025 that's proof that emotional condition of the leader and founder that he provides through the words change in the biochemistry of the employers. And we right now have these numbers, so I can share it with you, because it's really amazing research, and it's explain a lot of things that we already knew before, but right now we can measure it, so we can influence for it. So, and the words that you are using and those emotion that you are putting in these words, they can dramatically change in the biochemistry of your employees, and this is amazing. So, and if your employees, don't underestimate the condition of your boss. And if you see that your boss close to burnout, maybe you should say so. Probably we need to speak about something here. So, okay, coming back to the enjoyment. And you should plan this enjoyment moment in your daily routine. So when you're scheduling your week, for example, in Friday or Monday, I don't know where you're doing it, or you should say it for the manager who is keeping your schedule. Like, for example, I have You should put it in your calendar. And it can be everything. It can be global crisis. Client maybe want to reschedule the call, but these 10 minutes per day, this is your minutes, and you should prioritize it. And in these 10 minutes, you're doing something from this list. For example, you are enjoying the feeling of the warm sun on your skin. You switch off everything and you're listening your favorite song, whatever it is. You're just doing something from your list, and you can plan it. And that's what make your body think that you are in the right direction. Because as I told you, if we are for a long time in the awful circumstances, when the only one thing that we're experiencing is the increasing of the cortisol, that's make our body think that, oh my God, I'm in the awful circumstances, I need to escape from it. And you start to work not in the creative strategic mood, you start to think in survival mode. And this is everyone should use it. Doesn't matter, you are the founder or your employer, please do it, and you will see how your life will change, because you will learn your nervous system to make the best decision that's available for you in these circumstances. And speaking about the entrepreneurs and some specific for them, it's not our habit to request some kind of support and help when we really need it, because our ability to be responsible, that's what makes us leaders. But this is another side here, that we have a habit that everyone around us rely on us, and you're unable to speak about things that you worry about with your team, of course, because, okay, what will you do? You will come to them and say, guys, I don't want to do, I feel fear that probably I will not have enough money to pay for you the salary for the next month. Okay, what will be the result? Sometimes you're unable to speak about it openly with your family, because they as well probably rely on you, or probably you risk with some, I don't know, maybe you sell your house and invest it in your business. I don't know. But there is a situation when it's very difficult for entrepreneur to speak about it with the family. So you need to prepare your support team before some crisis already happened. It can be your close friends. It can be entrepreneurs from the community that you belong to, who are facing with the same problems. It can be some professional coach, whatever it is, but you should have this help button at the moments when you need it. And the specifics of that dopamine system of entrepreneurs that we spoke about already a lot, influence for our ability to feel what's going on with us, not at the moment when we already started to burn it out, but when we're already deeply in this stage, because this high resultative orientation make us be very focused on the result, and to switch off the feelings of what's going on with our body, what's going on in our life. So it will be great to have this help button before crisis happened. And probably it will be great to know some signs, your personal signs, when you don't feel that you're tired, or you don't feel that something awful already happened with your health, but some signs that make you think that probably something goes wrong, and you need to take a pause, maybe for one day, before your body will make you to try to have a pause for a week, months, year. And I had cases like this, not from my client, God bless, but some people around me, specifically here in Silicon Valley. So this is the main recommendation that I can.
No, it's interesting, because when you're thinking about this, the founder identity crisis, I think there's this very misunderstood concept that your worth is extrinsic, right? So many founders, I believe, basically attach their self-worth to their startup valuations, and they have these obsessions where, well, if it's not worth 10 millions, I'm worthless. And there's this sort of narrative where, unfortunately, we've been in the performance-based basically mindset for so long that everything outside of just basically the money you make is unfortunately valueless, which is very far from the truth. And I really, one thing that always amazed me with people that in your line of work is how you, not only from a psychological standpoint, but from a practical standpoint, balance basically this sorts of urge of, hey, we must succeed yesterday because my ego needs it, or whatever external components, with this understanding of how to guide clients through the psychological unrailing that often happen during these pivots and or those exits as well. Another thing that I found, I work very closely to a lot of quite wealthy people, and most of the time you become wealthy basically when you sell a business. And I had one case in particular, an incredible partner of mine in Denver, And he sold his business, 49 years old, for $142 million. Became, 9-figure person overnight, and it was already quite well off, and I was very wealthy. And I remember the conversation just after he exited the company. I called him and I said, "Hey, congratulations! You worked so hard, and now you basically have accomplished what you wanted to accomplish." He said, "Sam, I feel lost now. I feel like I sold my soul. I feel like I sold myself,
Absolutely.
perhaps." Um, how do you guide clients through that process and making sure that they understand that they're much more intrinsically valuable than just the worth of the company?
Um, you're absolutely right, and I love the phrase that what is the money? This is everything for those person who don't have them. And
Yes.
before you got your first money that just can be enough for this sense of stability, you are very focused on it. It depends on because it's really true that during this entrepreneurial journey, you need to be very focused on your business, and day by day, all another interests that slowly disappearing from your life. You don't have enough time to meet with your friends. Probably you don't have enough time to take care about your children, to spend the time with your spouse, to do the things that you really, really love. And there is very interesting concept of the vertical leadership, the evolutional theory of the leadership. And
Okay.
this theory says that we have this achiever stage that's regular for most of founders and entrepreneurs, and then we should turn to the some kind of a strategic stage when you started to thinking about creation some networks and system where everyone win, not only you but everyone around you. So
Sure.
it depends on the condition where that person come to me. As I told you, when for example person say that I feel nothing, it's probably can mean that you really burn out, and we should start with taking care about the resource. I mean, to coming back the dopamine level to the normal point, to take care about the health. And this is the parallel job with some kind of analysis what's going on in the life of this person. And you should find the new meaning of what you are doing, because right now don't have this motivation to achieve your goal, to be the first, to be the cleverest person in the room and all this stuff. And you should find some kind of the new meaning of your life. And um, I try not to be very boring. The thing that really helpful in this moment is to remember who you were before all this story, and probably it can be very early memories, like what I loved when I was a boy, or when I was a little girl. What's really I dreamed about? Did I already did it for me? And there are some did I already do it for myself. And also there are people who have enough money and they've already satisfied this little boy or girl. I mean, they bought cars or the plane that you dreamed about, or you visited those countries that you wanted to visit. You already did everything for yourself that you wanted. But honestly, this is rare situation. In the most cases that I faced with, when you're asking, what do you really love? What are you doing for yourself? When did you have a last time that you dedicate for yourself? You will find the silence, the same level of the silence that your employers feel that you come into them and say, let's go there, let's go run there. And
Right.
typical reaction is, what? I didn't get the question. Here is my business, here's my results, what else you need? And when you started to dig deeper into this direction, you really can find amazing gems. Because the reality is that and this is important to understand. We don't have some kind of the stable identity. What I'm trying to say here, we have this process. The name of this process is neuroplasticity. This is how we educate. This is how we're developing. When we are in our mother's belly, we already have this neuron cells that place in their places in our brain, and during all our life, they create a new connection. And this is process named neuroplasticity. And all experience that we have, it's physically wrote in our brain through this neuroplasticity process. And when we are little, for example, we are 1 year old, when we are 1 month old, this is 2 million per second of new connections. When you are, for example, close to 40, like me right now, this is probably 40 or 50,000 of new connections per second. And it depends of how you're taking care about it. Do you do something specifically for support it or no? But this is some kind of the average numbers. And just imagine then, since you were probably, I don't know, 10 years old boy until you're 40 years, you were driven by this motivation, and all of your mindset, all of your identity was under this motivation. I want to achieve, I want to become a king of the mountain. And you just feel like, somebody stole the ground from your feet. And you need some time to create this new neuroplasticity in your brain that will identify in yourself for some kind of the new meaning in your perspective. And it is always, it has always happened, but you need to be very clear an explanation for this person, what's going on with you right now. And I should be able to prove it through the neuroscience base. And that's why I'm deeply in the neuroscience field, because it's really helped me to make better prognosis for the business. Because as I told you, my career starts and develop in the environment that I should prove that everything that I'm providing, all the solutions that I'm suggesting will bring the results to the company. And here is the same. And when you give this clear explanation for the person, and together you're looking for some new opportunities, some new meanings, and this should go through the understanding of the neurophysiology of this process, and through the finding of some important thing that was meaningful for this person before all of this journey, it will work great.
Yeah, no, it's fascinating, and I think that correct me if I'm wrong, Marina, but I really believe that there's sort of the human side of entrepreneurship that is now coming up. I don't know exactly what it is, but after COVID, I've been seeing more and more people talking about this new paradigm of just basically this sort of merging basically wellness with business, basically success, and I suppose this expansion of the mind to not only solely doing but being. Right, I'm a big Jim Rohn fan, and one of my favorite quote of his is you don't see the world for what it is, you see the world for who you are. And
Mm-hmm.
I believe that wholeheartedly, to be honest. And I really want you to talk about what does a more human centered future of entrepreneurship looks like in your vision, because it seemed to be so fundamental to who you
Mm-hmm.
are and what you're trying to achieve. Tell me more about how you see it perhaps unfold in our very eyes.
Oh, it's a very interesting question. So it will be a little bit philosophical conversation here.
Absolutely.
You really put it in very interesting direction, because for the question that we discussed before, this is a very important question: who I am outside of my business. Who I am outside of my business, because a lot of entrepreneurs and founders, they very strongly identifying themselves with the business.
Yes.
And here I want to speak with you a little bit about their AI era and the thing that we're doing in AIQ resource that I'm focusing right now, as I told you at the beginning of the conversation. I think one of the most fairness here for all of the people, it includes the entrepreneurs, managers, and all of us, is the perspective to lose your identity. What I'm speaking here about. If we will looking for some comparison with the psychological interpretation, what is the LLM models and artificial intelligence? This is some collective unconditional space, like the Jung paradigm, because this is all information that humanity have in the one source that appear in only if you will request something, right? And the same thing, we have all our experience in unconsciousness aspect of our personality, and some maybe common unconsciousness that we're using as well, like a person's. And our consciousness allow us to make our personal request there and provide our personal reactions for everything, etc. So, and it seems when you have an access to this common unconsciousness, doesn't matter who you are, who are asking the question, who make this best prompt to request this information. Honestly, it's becoming less and less meaningful, right? Because they are learning by themselves. You already have this AI agent, and you really can feel that your identity is not so matter right now, and you are losing it. And it's not fair only for the entrepreneurs, as I told you, it's fair for all of us. Because for all of the people, their identity is the only one stable thing that we have in our life. I mean, our core beliefs, our values, our identity with our language, with our culture, with our family, with our city, whatever it is. All of us have different of them. But the reality, as I told you, is that all of this is just how our neuroplasticity was designed. I mean, you was born in the family where you was born. You learn this language just because you was born in this country and these circumstances. You integrate this culture inside of you and these core beliefs only because you was born there. It's not because there is some fate here or something like that. Okay, there are a lot of people who believe in this fate, but not am I. I'm scientists. So,
Okay.
The reality is that your identity is something that very flexible during all your life. And all of us have this ability to recreate ourselves during all our life. I mean, of course, we have some genetic, we have some limits for our physiology, because if I will decide to become a best ballerina right now or the champion in the marathon running, I will not able to be do it, because you need some, physical practice since you are little. And also, we have our some kind of our genetic aspects that make us more talented in some direction, that make something easier for us. For example, if you will think about the Freddie Mercury, oh my God, he was born to sing. Did you see his tool for that? He have even some extra tooth in his mouth just to sing in an amazing way. And a lot of people are unable to sing like this just because they don't have this this physical tool for that.
Right.
What I'm trying to say. I think it's very interesting during all our life to become a best creator for ourselves and to think about our identity like about our creative project, and feel this ability to recreate your like a personality depends on what circumstances you are in right now and what make you feel better at this moment. And don't keep so strongly the core beliefs about yourself, and to understand that this is just because the circumstances was like this. Right now, circumstances changing. And if you will think about yourself like the creator, that doesn't mean that you betrayed yourself or you're, for example, too flexible person or you're unstable person. You just need to feel that you're free enough and you have everything that you need to become every person that you want. I mean, not just best version of themselves. This is toxic idea. I don't like it. Just to be the greatest creator of your personality. And when you feel it, when you are understood for the science perspective and for the practice perspective, this freedom that you really have, that make you as powerful as you can even imagine, when you really understood it, that this is totally in your hand, what kind of person you want to be. And you have this freedom in any time of your life, because our neuroplasticity stay with us till our last breath. It becomes slower, it's the truth. And when we are 80 years old, it became to maybe probably 3 or 2,000 per second. But we still have this ability to change everything that we want to change inside the limitation that we have genetically. But all of us should enjoy this freedom most of all. And that's what make our integration with artificial intelligence absolutely great, successful, and interesting. If we will stop to fear, lost ourselves in these changes, and understood that our flexibility and our freedom in this is the greatest gift that we are able to have.
Fantastic. Well, Marina Morgan, thank you so much for such an incredible conversations with us on a meaningful podcast. You're extremely passionate, and I suppose it's perhaps it goes basically through the screen just how joyful you are doing all these things. So congratulations for everything you're doing, and I would love for you to share some last words of wisdom with our audience, please.
Thank you so much, and I hope it was interesting for you guys. And that's it. That's the only thing that I wanted. Enjoy your life, enjoy yourself, enjoy the freedom to be whatever person you want to be.
Thank you for spending your time with us today on the Meaningful Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review or share it with someone who could benefit from it. And always remember, your story matters. Make it meaningful. We hope to see you next time.